Hello YouTuber, it's time to show another piece of equipment that I got hold of quite recently. Another piece of music equipment that I really don't need, but I thought this was quite fun. It is, as you can see, a portable tape recorder, and it's branded Support, and the model number is KC-66. And I don't know about you, but I've never heard about the Support label before, or the Support manufacturer. And when I've been looking for information about this tape recorder on internet, I haven't really been that lucky because there hasn't been that much about it, so it's fairly unknown. It is made in Hong Kong, so I guess it is some sort of clone maybe of Sony or Hitachi or whatever. It is very typical 1980s. We have a tape recorder with push buttons, and we have soft eject like this. Everything screams 80s, so I would think this is maybe mid 80s to the latter part of the 80s. If I open it up, I will probably be able to see some sort of date or year written anywhere, but I haven't done that yet. So, what's so special about this? Well, we have two speakers. Not the most impressive piece of speakers. They have a bit of problem when you play something with a lot of bass in. There's supposed to be some inbuilt microphone too, and I don't know if that is this one in the middle. Probably this is a bass element. This might be a tweeter, but it's very small, so I'm not sure really. Maybe this is the microphones and this is some sort of tweeter. Well, never mind. We have, as I said, a normal tape recorder. We have the aerial is alive and kicking like this. But what makes this interesting? Why did I really find any interest in this piece of 80s music equipment? Because I'm more into what was made in the 70s. Not really too fond of the aesthetics of the 80s. A bit too much plastic for my taste. Well, the answer is here, because this is called a 3-in-1, because we have here, we have the tape recorder, we have the radio, and what do we have here? Is it some sort of early CD? We have this round thing here. Well, I'm going to open it up and show it to you. Ta-da! Let's see if we can focus. It is, as you can see, a turntable. A very, 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 very small turntable. And we have a tone arm that you can lift up and put in some sort of rest like this. This white round thing is both for, well, using when you play singles with big center holes, big spindle holes, and as a rest for the pickup like this. Well, shall we try it? See what happens. Shall we start with the radio? Let's see if we can get this thing to sound. Okay, this is shortwave. We have a tone control up here. Treble, bass. This is shortwave, but let's see if we can find anything. No, it's FM actually. This is a tuning. Yeah. Not my kind of music really, but the radio works without problem. Right, enough of that. Let's have a look at the tape recorder then. I have here old tape from 1976 with the Swedish band Cool Candies. I think I can play a bit from this without getting into any major copyright problem. And it works fine. You can't really crank up the volume much more. It's the volume isn't that impressive on this, but plays tapes without any problems. Keeps it's the proper speed and all, so no problem there. I've been listening to quite a few cassettes since I got this, and I have to say it works quite good. So even though I still think it feels a bit plastic, this kind of lead and these, but of course that's how it was in the 80s, and maybe, well, in some senses it's even more how it is today. So, but let's see now on the big question here. I can put down the aerial like this. The phono, the record player. First of all, check the turntable, the platter here. It's the same size, if you can imagine, like maybe a 78 RPM label. Maybe what could be 2 inches, 2.5 inches. I'm not really into inches, so so of course we might have some issues when it comes to stability here, and I think I've read, one of the few things I read about this is that it is mainly for playing vinyl singles. It works to play some LPs, but definitely not all. So let's see now. We can play 33 and we can play 45s, and we just switch phono like this, and again, to try to avoid some sort of copyright issue, I'm going to put on this single 45 with the Swedish dance band Simons version of Glenn Miller's In the Mood from 1987. My goodness, this is, you can see now how small it is when you see the vinyl single, the 7 inches being this big. So yeah, 45 to switch to 45. Let's see how it sounds. Yeah, you can hear that it's quite a lot of wow, because it must be difficult for the platter to keep up a steady pace, and also for the record to have the perfect contact with the platter, because the platter is so small, and just the weight of this tone arm would probably make it a bit unstable. But it works. It's not hi-fi, but it works. Yeah. Right. All right. Shall we try to play a bit from an LP as well? I've been listening to some records that has mainly talk on them, and of course on those it doesn't really matter if there's a bit of a wow when you play. So, well, some records, if they are slightly warped, the record will brush against the edge here, there, and of course that affects the sound. Let's see how this Count Basie if it works at all. I think it does. Oh God. If you're curious on the record I'm playing, looks like this. It sounds better than I expected actually, but I wonder about whether there's some sort of tracking error with such a short tone arm playing out here. It looks as if there might be. Let's see if we can. It's hard to say. Well, I found that old jazz records and well, mainly spoken records or comedy records, they sound quite good, or they are listenable on this record player anyway. So you can't put down the lid here, of course, because it's not a sound burger. Right, so have you seen this before? I certainly haven't, and I haven't seen that many signs of it on internet either. And do you know anything about this label support or this manufacturer? Then please inform me, because it is quite an interesting machine here. All right, I'm going to switch it off. Thus, I'm going to place this back, because we can. I'm going to unplug that. We can have a look on the back too. There we have model number KC-66. Nordic Trading Sweden. Yeah, because it is actually. I got the booklet with information about how to use it, and that was printed in Sweden, and it was Swedish. So, and it has obviously been sold in Swedish stores somewhere. We have the normal AC output. We have the phones, headphones output, and that works fine. I tried it. Then we have a DIN plug, and that's not a thing that I expected to see on a 1980s machine. So that was a big surprise there, DIN plug. Right. That was the KC-66, support KC-66. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.